Hi, hello, how are ya? I recently moved to Oregon from North Carolina, so the weather's been a little bit chilly here. Um, Instead of being like 95 degrees out every day, it's been like a nice 75, and that's been a wonderful change. With that, and it being September, of course, started to feel a bit more cozy out. Starting to feel a bit more like I want to read some cozy books. Some nice, cozy, spooky fall vibes books. And I bet you're thinking the same thing. I bet you're feeling the same way. So I'm here to recommend you five of the best fall books to read this year. So, first, I feel like we have to start off with none other than Dracula. It's a classic. It is, if you're gonna cozy up and watch scary movies, think about scary books, you're gonna think of Dracula. It's the OG vampires. I will suggest if you, like I was, quite intimidated by Dracula, listen to the audiobook. It helped me kind of get into the rhythm of the writing style because it was published in 1897. It is told with letters and journal entries and newspaper clippings, which I guess I didn't expect going into it. I honestly didn't know a lot about Dracula, like the original story, before reading it. I loved it. I loved it so much. A lot more than I honestly expected to. A lot of the characters are really mesmerizing in Dracula, and it was kind of fun to read it and see where some of the vampire tropes that we know and love have come from. So, if you have yet to read Dracula, give it a chance this fall. Like I said, listen to the audiobook. It helps a lot to get into the kind of rhythm, I guess, of the writing in a lot of ways. I read it, I loved it. You might read it and love it as well. Next up is another classic that we're going to talk about, and it's We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I read this last spring, I believe, and was absolutely blown away. I thought it was so good, so amazing. I believe I had just read The Haunting of Hill House and did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I love the series on Netflix, so I really expected to also enjoy the book. I know that they're very different. Just want to put that out there. I know that the book and the TV show are very different, so I wasn't expecting it to be the same, but I still just didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would. But We Have Always Lived in the Castle truly blew me away. It is a story about two sisters who are kind of isolated from the rest of their society because of this mystery that the town believes that they are involved in. And it's kind of about unraveling that mystery and seeing what happens. And one thing that I just really loved about this book was kind of the humor almost that Jackson had with the two sisters. They joke with each other and act very much like sisters, but it didn't get in the way of the story. I feel like it really added to it. I thought the writing was really amazing. I thought the story was really amazing. Truly loved it. Definitely gave me good old October spooky, scary vibes. Give it a read. Okay, next I want to talk about a book that I actually read at the beginning of this year in January. This one's purely for the vibes. Purely for the vibes. I don't think the story was truly that awesome, but the vibes were immaculate. And that is Smother Moss by Alyssa Ailring. This book takes place in the 1980s Appalachia. I lived in North Carolina for 2 years and I'm still not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. Sorry. Don't sue me. It follows two sisters who live in kind of a good fair bit of poverty. They have to live off of the land in a lot of ways. Sheila, the older sister, she's kind of the mom of the house. She dreams more for herself. She wants to get out of the life that they live. She kind of is struggling a lot with her identity and her sexuality too during the book. And then there's the younger sister, Angie, who is truly a doll. She has a very big creative imagination, but she's kind of a little off. And there is a serial killer that they believe is somewhere in the woods. So that's kind of the backbone of the story, but really it's a lot more about the sisters and their relationship with each other, with their mother, with themselves, with nature, and this really eerie, atmospheric mountain backwoods setting, I think makes for a really good fall read. Like I said, the story isn't as great as it could have been. I think there was a lot of just kind of things thrown in that made you feel a little spooky, but there wasn't really any reason for them. But I think the story of the two sisters, the way they develop over the book and where they start versus how they end is just so intriguing. There's a lot of mystery and mystique in what happens with them and around them, and I just think that this truly, when I think of something that's a little eerie, very fall, very cold, seasons changing, I definitely think of Smother Moss. This book was really awesome. I did end up buying it, did enjoy it despite the plot having some issues. Except as Rebecca. This book I had on a completely separate list for a completely separate thing that I need to make a video about that I will eventually. Anyway, but what pushed me to read it was I watched a YouTuber's video and they talked about reading Verity by Colleen Hoover, and they said that it is Rebecca but worse. And so I was like, well, now I have to read Rebecca. And I did, and I loved it. Oh my gosh. So Rebecca is a story about a woman who I believe is completely unnamed. I don't think she ever is named, and if she is, it's maybe like once. Anyway, so she marries this very rich man who is he's a widow. Do you use that term for men? I think you do. The correct term is actually widower. When I was recording this, I had in my brain that a widower is... No, I thought a widower was someone who makes a widow, which I guess is still a widower. I don't know, that term didn't feel right when I was recording, but the term is in fact widower. Widow is for female, widower is for male. Anyway, so he's a widow. His wife has recently passed, and his wife Rebecca. And there's a lot of mystery and mystique around the circumstances in which she died. No one at their manor really talks about it, and this new woman, our main character, she is kind of struggling to fill Rebecca's shoes. Rebecca and the husband, they lived a very large, lavish life with a large manor and large parties, all of that. So she really struggles to kind of fill those shoes, and she feels like she's very much living in the shadow of Rebecca in more ways than one, especially since she is living in Rebecca's house. She's sleeping in Rebecca's room. There's just a lot of like I said, just mystery and kind of suspense surrounding this larger than life woman that was Rebecca and how she did meet her end. Oh, it's beautiful. It's truly beautiful. Maybe I consider it a fall read because I read it in the fall. I loved it. I was amazed by it. It was, I think, in my top 5 2 years ago now. And I still come back to it and would still recommend it to absolutely anyone. Okay, last but not least is Grey Dog by Elliot Gish. I read this last October, I believe, October or September, and was blown away by it. I finished it on my e-reader, finished my little library loan, and immediately went and bought the book because I knew I needed to have it in my library and in my life. Oh my gosh, Grey Dog, where do I even begin? So Grey Dog is about a woman who is a teacher in 1901, and she is stationed in a small town in England, and she's very much an outsider in this town. A lot of people are kind of questioning her and her past because she has her own shroud of mystery going on there, and there's some weird happenings in the town that she's picking up on, and she's kind of wrapped into this mystery and this haunting, and the whole time you're kind of questioning, is what's happening to her real? Is it fake? Is it all in her head like everyone else says? And I just think that Gish did a really amazing job with building motifs throughout the book, specifically words and phrases that were continuously used, turned from very like light and happy to very sinister and dark. It was just so good. It was so good, so atmospheric. I ate this book up. Honestly, we'll probably reread it before the year is over because I just was so amazed by it. It's such a good and well-crafted horror, too. There's the last couple of scenes are incredibly gruesome and incredibly bloody and gory and just absolutely insane. I'm waiting ever so patiently for Gish to release another book because this one just absolutely blew me away. It is all the fall vibes that you could possibly want and more. Perfect horror. So good. I cannot sing this book's praises enough. Please go out and read Grey Dog by Elliot Gish. I just, again, was amazed. I annotated it, and I'm not a big annotator because just there was phrases and scenes and all sorts of things that happened that I was just absolutely blown away by. Like, look how underlined a couple sections that I just thought were amazing and eerie, and I'm going on and on, but I truly can't stop thinking about this book and can't stop recommending it to everyone. I truly am so amazed. So those are my recommendations for 5 books to read this fall. Some are, I don't know why I keep calling them cozy. None of them are very cozy. They are all quite eerie and unnerving and a little scary and a little bloody and a little gruesome at times. But I do think that they are the perfect fall vibes. I love them all, would reread them all in a heartbeat, and think that they're just perfect going into this spooky Halloween season. So, have you read any of them? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? What would you also recommend? I am looking for more fall reads, obviously, as we go into September and October and November. Give me your recommendations and if you would also recommend any of these. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of these books. I'd love to hear your opinions, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!